right, so when you're talking about legs, most of your moves are going to be big compound moves. Deadlifts, squats, leg press, lunges. But there are some isolation moves as well. Remember our criteria, it's one joint. So if you're bending a knee and a hip, that's two joints. So one joint isolates the muscle. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with leg extension. Everybody knows this one, right? This is my favorite machine to start on. It warms up my knees. It isolates the quads. It's a great exercise. I always start with this to warm up the knees before I get into the big compound moves, right? All right, so if you want to isolate your quads, this is probably the best and maybe one of the only ways to do it, right? All right, pro tips, come up, squeeze, bring your toes in to get that contraction right here. Don't leave your toes out. Bring them in and contract those legs at the top just like so. When you come down, don't let the weights hit. You want constant tension on the quads. If you hear that, you're just resting. So keep constant tension on the quads, squeeze them hard at the top, and bring your toes in to squeeze those quads, right? All right. First exercise, and probably the only one that's going to isolate your quads, the leg extension. Stay tuned, we got 4 more. All right, so after the leg extension, you know we're going to do a leg curl, right? So we got the quads on here. We're going to isolate the hamstrings on here. The only thing moving is your knees, right? So it's an isolation move. The only joint that moves is your knees, excuse me. I'm awake. All right, so there's 2 different versions. We got the seated one here. I actually prefer the laying down, the prone version more than this one. Camille likes the seated one more. Whatever your preference is, you do get a better stretch. You're at a better stretch position in the seated one, but I still like the prone one better. Probably because it's not here and I barely ever use it. But I can feel the prone one a lot more than I can feel this bad boy here. All right, leg curl. So you could use your hamstrings, curl this back, squeeze them here, and then keep them engaged as you let it back up, just like so. And just like a leg extension, don't let the weights hit. If the weights hit, you're resting. We're not here to rest, y'all. All right, come down, squeeze those hamstrings, bring them back up nice and slow, keep them engaged. Pro tip on this one is if you're having trouble with the contraction, with the squeeze, think of it like your bicep. When you're curling your leg, your hamstring the same as your bicep. You just squeeze your bicep the same way you squeeze your hamstrings right here, right? That's a great way to think about it, just like so. All right. Leg curls. So the first 2 were the obvious, right? Everybody knows the leg curl, leg extension machine, isolate your legs, right? All right, so now we got to think outside the box. We got to get a little bit creative. If you've never heard of a good morning, I'm about to show you what it is. Don't ask me why it's called a good morning. I have no idea. But it will isolate your glutes and your hammies, right? The only thing you're going to move on, the only joint moving here is your hips. So what you're going to do is put the bar here, stretch the hamstrings out, and then come back up. Boom, right? Show you what we got. Good mornings. All right. Start light with this one till you get used to it, and then obviously progressively overload just like you do every other exercise. All right, keep your chest up, your head up, your back flat. Come down till you feel those hammies stretch. Come back up and squeeze. Stretch them here, back up, and squeeze, just like so. Boom. All right, this is going to isolate your hamstrings. Get a little bit of glutes in here as well. But you're only moving your hips. The only thing moving is your hips. The only joint moving is your hips, so it's an isolation exercise. Good mornings. All right. Check them out. If you've never done them before, they're pretty good. Next exercise I'll show you is going to be a little bit better, though. Stay tuned. After the good mornings, we got another hamstring isolator, right? All right. Check it out. I think it's a little bit superior to the good mornings. You can do a little bit more weight. It's a bit of range of motion. It's a longer range of motion. It's more time under tension. It's a straight leg deadlift. I prefer to do it on the cable. A lot of people like to do it with the bar, which is fine. I prefer the cable. It gets a little bit better stretch and keeps more constant tension on the hamstring as you do it, right? All right. So just like the good mornings, you're going to bend at the hips, bend over until you feel those hamstrings stretch, and then stand straight back up. Boom, just like so. Keep the hammies engaged as you're stretching them down, and then obviously as you bring them up, and then squeeze them at the top. Just like so. And you can see I'm getting a little better stretch, and I'm going a little further down than I do on the good morning. So check out your cable straight leg deadlifts. Again, isolating the hamstring. Great one. Just get a good stretch and a good squeeze. Prefer the cables? Try them both, barbell or cables, which one you prefer. All right, we're gonna wrap up this 5 top isolating leg exercises with a hyperextension. Another great one, isolates the hamstrings. You can get a lot of glutes on this one as well. You set up, the pads should be right on your thighs here. You hook your ankles against the lip here. I see a lot of people doing their hypers like this. You're not very secure, right? So hook your feet on the lip. Now you're secured. Now you're not going to flip off this thing, all right? All right, so you come down, stretch out the hammies, stretch out the glutes, come up, and then squeeze them just like so. It's a great exercise. You can add weight to it. Obviously, you can hold it on your chest, or you can hold it out like this and do your reps. Most people hold it on their chest so they can get the full range of motion like so, and then back up. Did you see what I just did there? I rested. Don't come down here and rest. It feels good, it's a stretch, it does, but we're doing reps right now, so don't rest at the bottom. Keep tension on the hammies, keep tension on the glutes, just like so. Yeah. Probably one of the best. Straight leg deads and hypers are probably the best to blow up your hamstrings, isolate those hamstrings. All right, we're going to recap this, baby. Stay tuned. All right, thanks for staying tuned to the end of this video. We're going to recap the top 5 isolating leg exercises. You should do these exercises 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 10 reps. And like I said earlier, progressively overload every workout, right? All right, we started with probably the only way to isolate your quads, the leg extension machine. If anybody out there knows another way to isolate the quad, go ahead and drop me a comment. I'd love to see it, but I think leg extension is the only way you can do it. All right, then we went to the leg curl, isolate the hamstrings. Both of those are pretty obvious. Everybody knows those, right? They're going to isolate the quad, isolate the hamstring. Then we went to good mornings, one you don't see very often. Your bar's on your back, you're bending over till you get that stretch, and then squeeze, right? It's a decent exercise. If you've never tried it before, give it a try, see how you like it. Then we went to the cable straight leg deadlift, which I think is a little bit superior because you get more of a stretch. You're coming way down here, stretching that hammy more, getting more time under tension, and then you're bringing it back up like so. All right, great exercise, straight leg deadlift. Then we finished with the hypers, y'all. Another great one. Just make sure you keep yourself engaged. You don't stretch at the bottom. And sorry, you do stretch at the bottom, but you don't rest. If you are stretching, go ahead and stretch. Just don't mix it in with your reps, right? Right. And remember to add weight to that one. Just hold it across your chest while you're doing it. All right, that's it. Top 5 isolating leg exercises. For more videos like this, check out our leg playlist, 88 Fitness. Like and subscribe.